Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to drop in tonight and have a little bit of, an open hearted conversation. So, it's been an interesting few weeks, hasn't it? In the collective, everybody's dealing with lots of different things, but I am too going through some upheavals right now, and some upheavals that have been really going on for quite a long time, but things are just beginning to become a little bit clearer for me in a few different ways. And so I want to experiment a little bit here. So last night I was in a meditation and I was interestingly guided to this realization. So, just to give you a little bit of a backdrop or a backstory here, for the past several years, there's been a part of me that has been wanting to step out into more of a service role and to be able to give myself, to a very deep passion in really helping people transform in different ways, right? And so I've been cultivating all these tools and all these different things, working on myself, doing the inner work, doing all of that. Yet the thing is that what I needed to provide for the world was not something that was, so tangible in the sense of a tool or a modality or a skill or anything like that. And so I was guided to really start sharing and opening myself up in a way that I've never done before. And this is an experiment because, one, right now I'm definitely a little bit nervous to be doing this. And I'm not going to lie, I'm just going to lay it on the line and just tell you I'm feeling a little bit nervous doing this. But I realized that the power of sharing and vulnerability and really opening someone's heart basically to the world, because it's exactly what I'm doing right now, even though there's a few people watching this. It really allows for more people to come together. It almost creates this community in a sense, and that's kind of not only the reason I'm doing it, but also for my own, just to be able to share who I am, because a lot of people know who I am, I guess, from a social media standpoint, but not the ins and outs, the daily insights, the different things that come through to me in my communications with spirit, and also sharing some raw personal things, right? And really just opening myself up to whatever needs to come through. And I trust the process that whatever needs to come through will come through. But what's been just really on my mind is to be able just to give more of myself in that way, and also to be able to reflect back and learn from every single person that is tuning into these live streams on what things you're going through. I want to create this community where we're all opening up to each other. We're all having these deep conversations to be able to heal through whatever we need to go through or whatever we've been through. We've all been through something, but the point of this is just to open myself up in the attempt that maybe you'll open your own heart up and share some of the things that you've been not just suppressing, but maybe just not talking about. And so for me, again, I don't know what's going to come up over the next 30 days that I do this, but I know that there's definitely going to be some realizations and some different things that may surface, but I'm just going to allow it to be whatever it needs to be so that I can release whatever's going through and moving through me. And hopefully you can quite possibly do the same through your own sharing. But, it's just been this almost resistance within myself in so many ways, resistance to my natural calling to just be able to step out and move into these spaces, these vulnerable spaces where I bare my soul in certain ways. And so for me, a lot of my communication, a lot of the ways I bare my soul is not only to my wonderful wife, Sarah. We almost exist in this bubble together where we have this world where sometimes outside of it, it's really hard to explain, but we are so just immersed in this process of sharing and uncovering and releasing and cleansing and just continuing to move on that path towards remembrance and towards becoming. But a lot of my communication happens to spirit. I don't tell many people this, but I communicate a lot to spirit. I talk to angels. I talk to my guides. I talk to my higher self. I'm always having these communications with spirit, whether that's in a meditation or in breath work or in yoga, whatever it is. I'm always having these conversations. And that's kind of where I have a lot of my release, is by just sitting and having a conversation with, if you want to call it, the invisible, right? And maybe that sounds weird to some people, but for me, that's almost like my therapy, is like just releasing and having conversations with spirit, knowing that everything will be taken care of as it needs to, but also knowing that I feel like comforted in that space. But I want to switch things up a little bit, not only communicate and continue my communications with spirit, but also continue my communications with you and whoever is tuning into these. I think by doing that, I'll be able to open myself up even more to whatever needs to come through for not only my highest good, but whoever else is listening. So I just wanted to give you kind of a brief background on where my head's at, and then also any sort of daily reflections I have, kind of giving you a little sneak peek into my life and what goes on behind the scenes, if you really care at all, but also what goes on, within my inner workings, because I feel like a lot of the things that I think, I don't say because of maybe fear of rejection in a way, or fear of not being totally received, or fear of a number of things, right? So like in this social media era that we all live, we tend to just like almost hold ourselves back to a T, right? And hold ourselves back from really sharing our hearts and really sharing who we truly are beyond the veil, beyond the masks that we all put on. And honestly, like I'm ready just to let it all go and to just be fully transparent in every single way, so that we can all really just come together and really create those spaces for healing and for expansion and for growth. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. We're here to essentially just continue to evolve and take that next step in our evolution, individually and collectively. And so, yes, that is the purpose of doing this for the next 30 days. So if you're tuning in right now, wonderful. Thank you for joining. Nikhil, what's up, my man? Great to see you, and whoever else is on here. But I just would love for you to join me in this space and see where it all goes. It's a beautiful experiment, and I feel like this is the time for me right now, the best time for me to do this and to really bare my soul to you and to let you in whatever needs to come up. So each night, I don't know what time I'm going to be doing these. I'm just going to be doing them, and whatever needs to come through, I trust that it's for the highest good, and we'll leave it at that. So yeah, join me for the next 30 days. It's going to be very interesting. There might be some tears shed, some laughter. I don't know what's going to come of it. I'm releasing all expectations. I'm just going to surrender as best as I possibly can, because that's fucking hard sometimes. And I find it extremely difficult, especially when I have a lot going on, to just let go and surrender to whatever needs to be. And I think that's been one of my almost most difficult lessons is unless I'm under the influence of some sort of plant medicine, which that's even more difficult to surrender, but at times, but just being able to let myself go, and whatever needs to come through will come through. But I'm going to practice that as best as I possibly can, and not get in my way, and not think, oh, am I saying the right thing? Am I Am I giving the right guidance or advice, or am I, whatever I'm talking about, am I doing the right thing? It's like getting out of my own way. And I think that's the most important thing. It's like just being able to just step out of my way and continue to forge forward with no destination in mind, but just letting it unfold as it needs to. So that was a long for what I was basically just trying to say is that I'm excited to go on this journey with you, and I hope you'll join me, and together we'll create some magic. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Good night.